Welcome to More Than a Few Words, a marketing conversation for business owners. This is your host, Lorraine Ball. And if you're like me, you look around the world and it feels a little out of control. Whether it's the economy, whether it's the environment, whether it's politics, whatever it is, it just feels like everything is a little bit chaotic. And you're not alone in that feeling. And the truth is that is affecting our well-being. And we can't change what's out there. We can only change what's in here. And to have a conversation about how we address our well-being and our perspectives to improve our lives and our business, I've invited Debra Sunderland back. Deborah's been a regular visitor on More Than a Few Words. Deborah, thanks for joining me.
Oh my gosh, Lorraine, so good to be with you. Thank you for having me once again. Yes.
Well, I thought you were the perfect person to have this conversation because you do so much with CEOs and their teams, creating visions and challenging them to create collaborative and vibrant and responsible and joy-filled cultures. And I think we need more of that right now. So let's start at the beginning.
Beautiful.
The world out there is crazy.
Yeah, the world is. And if you think about, Lorraine, we were just talking about, it's been several years that you and I have connected. And so beautiful people in the world, you're all amazing. I just want you to look at and appreciate what you've come through. Gosh, we have come through a lot in the last 5 years. COVID, right, for a couple years. Then we've got inflation, high interest rates, wars, politics that are out of control. It's like, how much more can we take, guys, right? So what do we do when we can't control these things? We can't control the world. We can't control decisions that are being made by the government. We can't control wars. So how do we take care of ourselves? And so first of all, I just want to say kudos for you for coming through this. So I want you to appreciate yourself, that you have come through a lot and you are resilient. You are resilient. You are amazing. And you have more inside of you than you even realize.
You know, I think that is such an important point, that the first thing we need to do when we're trying to figure out how do we manage through all of this is to recognize that no matter how crazy it feels, we've kind of been here before. We've lived through ups and downs, you know, as business owners, as people. And so celebrating and recognizing your internal strength is a great place to start. Now what? Because that's not just enough.
Exactly. It's not just enough. So I want you to notice how powerful your thinker is. We all tend to think about what might go wrong, what is going wrong, and we believe then something needs to change in order for me to be okay. Something out there needs to change. Look at Lorraine.
Yeah, I was going to say, and while that may be true, there are things out there that do need to change. There in many cases, there isn't anything I can do. So how do I redirect my thinker?
Exactly. So I want you to think about this in my world of how I bring well-being to myself is always noticing, what am I telling myself? Because that is something we can always redirect. How do I feel when I believe the government's out of control? I just lost work. I can't do anything about this. I start to spiral down. I actually lost work. I used to work for the SBA and I thought I was going to be working here for the next 6 months and it was taken away. So I can be reactive to it and get angry, and it's okay to have anger. It's okay to have fear, but it's also, so my work is, let's feel it all the way through. Don't be ashamed that you have those feelings. Let them come through. Our emotions only last for 90 seconds at most. And they come in big waves of, oh my gosh, or they could just be little flutters of anxiety. You are totally normal, guys. Everyone has that. So welcome it, allow it to pass through you, and then ask yourself, what was the thought that caused me to have anxiety? What was the thought that caused me to have frustration? Can I put the two together? Okay, beautiful. So when I have the thought, the government shouldn't have canceled my SBA work, don't they know that I need to take care of myself? And okay, I feel that anxiety, I feel that anger. And then I look at, how is this for me? Because the unconscious mind, our thoughts are always thinking things are against us, situations are against us, people are against us. So I want you to start flipping, how is this for me? So I'd say, how is this for me? Maybe I'm supposed to be working for other people I didn't know that I would be working for, or maybe it is time for me to do less and slow down, or maybe it's for me to look at, how do I already have enough, right? Because the unconscious mind will always tell you, you're not enough, you don't have enough. And the one thing that I found is, I ask my dear leaders, my CEOs that I work with, do you know how to love yourself? And they will typically say, I have no idea what that means. So when things come against us, it's an opportunity to love ourselves. And the way we love ourselves is to switch the thinking. How is this for me? Because as soon as we think it's against us, we get anxious and we start to fight what we can't change or control.
And so instead, what you're suggesting is look at the situation and, figure out, how do I make this work? What opportunities does this create? What changes can I make to surf through this, and to kind of find that little bit of that silver lining?
Yeah, it is. It's even more than the silver line. It's actually the very opposite that the ego thinks of. The unconscious mind is always looking at, this is not for me. This should be different. If this changes, then I would be okay. So I want you to look at, how am I okay just right here, right now?
What's okay in this moment, and kind of focus on that.
Not even what's okay, but how am I okay?
How are you okay?
How am I okay? And maybe list all the things. One as simple as, I'm breathing.
Okay.
My heart's beating. Because one day we won't have breath. Our breath is a gift. So all the gifts that you have right now, I'm loved, I have clothes on, I have food, I have shelter. The basic necessities that the unconscious mind is at threat at, you most likely have. So list them, write them out, because the mind doesn't want you to see that, and writing them down will calm you down. And
cool.
Then, it's really amazing. And taking time for yourself, when you start to feel not at peace or joy, breathe. You've heard me talk about breathing before, Lorraine. Taking 3 deep breaths all the way in and all the way out sends a electrical current and a healing in your blood system that's alerting your body and your muscles that I am safe right now. Because when we feel at threat that something needs to be changed or is different, our muscles actually tighten and we can't fully breathe. So that's another thing we can do, is, can I just take some breaths and slow myself down? How am I okay right here, right now?
That is so powerful, to just have to do that, and to be able to do that, in your office, at your desk. You're working, chaos reigns around you. Close the door for 1 minute. Take your 3 breaths. Write down those things that you are okay with in that moment.
Yes.
And then open the door. And you are so right. Your ability to focus. I tend to, when I get annoyed, and it tends to be directed outward, and it's usually at a customer service person.
Okay.
And so, because they just specialize in pat answers and incompetence, and it sets me off. And I have found that when I feel that, those deep breaths, just taking that moment to put it in perspective, is really powerful.
And I would like to, thank you for saying that. And I'd like to go deeper just on that, Lorraine.
Okay.
What I tell my CEOs when they're upset with someone on their team, why aren't they listening to me? Why aren't they doing this? They're not doing it like I asked them. They're doing it too slowly. Why aren't they responding to the client, right? And I always say, we want to give grace to people. how might they be really doing the best that they can? Meaning, so even a customer service like person, like you said, people usually don't want to suck at what they're doing.
Mm-mm.
People don't want to upset another person. They just don't. People
No.
don't want to fail. No one does. So
No.
how can we give the benefit of the doubt that maybe we're just miscommunicating? Because the world is really about conversation. I'm going to make it really simple, guys. It's about two conversations. The conversation you have with yourself and the conversation you have with everyone else in the world.
Mm-hmm.
How
Absolutely.
you are conversing is either going to bring alignment or misalignment. And we get to choose how we want to converse. That's our powerhouse. No one's holding a gun at our head saying we got to think negatively about this person or we need to say words that are, no, we get to choose. But
Mm-hmm.
being the owner of that and taking responsibility for how we want to converse to ourselves and with others is our empowerment. And no one can take that away. So I want you to grab your power back, guys, and think the best of yourself, think the best of the other. And how do I want to, what do I want to believe about that? Because if we don't have peace or joy, we're suffering. And I don't want you guys to suffer. I want you to have peace and joy. And it always comes down to the conversation we have in this thinker right here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is really powerful. I think this was such good timing for this conversation because I know that we need it. And if people want to know more about you and what you do, Deborah, where's the best place for them to go?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to Debra, Debra, at Sunderland, Sunderland, coaching.com and email me there. You can go to my website, www.sunderlandcoaching.com, and reach out to me. I would love to support you. Let's get on a 15-minute discovery call, here to support your health, well-being, and whatever you're called to create in the world.
Wonderful. Thanks again, Deborah.
Thank you so much, Lorraine.
And if you're looking for more conversations like this, be sure to hop over to morethanafewwords.com. There you'll find hundreds of conversations, webinars, workbooks, and other tools to grow your business. This has been another episode of More Than a Few Words. Thanks for listening.